What's going on, guys? Today I am back with another hat format replay review for you guys. If you're interested in sending in your hat format replays, you can go down to the video description and find all the information on how to go about sending those in. But anyways, here we have RMYGO, who is going to be on Watt Artifact or Watt Hunder Artifact. We've seen his list, so unless he changed it up, he's on basically no Hunters at all. It's mostly just the Watt artifacts if it's the same list, versus his opponent Jay's Back, who is going to be on Mythic Ruler Hands. So this should be an interesting match, so let's get straight into it. Here it looks like Jay's Back is going to start this one out. Opening hands, we see Artifact Ignition, Moral Attack, Thunder Seahorse, Maxi, and Call of the Haunted. And Jay's Back has Soul Charge, Whitestone of Legend, Tidal, Upstart, and Trap Stun. Drawing another Upstart for turn, they go Upstart and get a Fire Hand, go Upstart and get a Dragon Shrine. Activate Dragon Shrine, send Blue Eyes and Redox. Activate Soul Charge, Arm Chains Maxi. So they summon 2. Arm gets a copy of Sanctum off the top. That's extremely strong. Sets the Fire Hand, sets the Trap Stun, and passes. Trap Stun actually is very good to an extent against this deck. But at the same time, seeing like Ignition and Moral Attack kind of changes that. Anyways, Arm gets a Mermail off the top. They're going to use Thunder Seahorse to add double Watt Cobra, it looks like. They're then going to normal Watt Cobra and go to battle phase, and Watt Cobra can attack directly, and when it does damage that way, it can search a Watt, which they're going to add the Giraffe. Main phase 2, they're going to use the Ignition here to pop the Trap Stun and set a Scythe, and then they're going to set more back row. The reason they're doing that also is just because they can Sanctum into Beagle Tack and then, pop Moral Attack and Scythe, so they kind of get the same advantage, so this Ignition wasn't really needed. And then it looks like in the end phase, the Redox bounces to hand. Does it? Let me just double check if this card... It should, right? I'm just making sure it didn't... Yeah, okay. I was just making sure that it didn't have to if it summons specifically off its own effect. That's all. Anyways, Jay's Back draws another Soul Charge. They're going to take some time to think. They're going to flip a Fire Hand. The Arm says it's good. Switch to the Blue Eyes to attack. Fire Hand over the Watt Cobra. Blue Eyes in for 3,000. And main phase 2, setting Whitestone of Legend, setting Soul Charge, passing, or in the end phase, Arm activates the Sanctum. Okay, yep, so here's that Beagle Tack using its effect to pop the Moral Attack and Scythe. Both effects triggering and summoning both out. Are they going to use the Moral Attack? They are. Moral Attack and Scythe are activating, so they are going to pop the Fire Hand here. And, oh, because of the way they chained it, this Fire Hand gets popped and then Scythe resolves, so this misses timing. Arm here gets a copy of Hunder. Overlays 2 of the artifacts for Pleiades, summons Watt Giraffe. Attack directly with Watt Giraffe. Jay's Back thinks, and Watt Giraffe is crazy because what it does is when it attacks directly, if it inflicts battle damage to the opponent from a direct attack, your opponent can't activate cards or effects until the end of the turn. So basically, by attacking with this and doing damage, now, Jay's Back can't activate anything. So if this was like another hand and they ran over it, it wouldn't be able to activate. Or if this was like some real back row, won't be able to activate. So you can kind of just pick apart your opponent's board in the main phase 2, which is crazy. Moral Attack over the set. And so this can't trigger because they can't activate effects, even though this is mandatory. They're Pleiades bouncing the Blue Eyes and attacking in. And then Call the Haunted is going to wrap that game up. So very nice showing from Arm of what this deck can do. Here, Jay's Back is going to start this one out. Opening hands, we see Thunder Seahorse, Call the Haunted, Moral Attack, Kagado Kage, and Maxi. Very reminiscent of the last game. Jay's Back sees Redox, Soul Charge, Upstart, Dragon Shrine, and Foolish Burial, drawing a Fire Hand for turn. So also very similar to last game. Here they activate Dragon Shrine, sending Blue Eyes and the Whitestone, which Whitestone then triggers, adding a Blue Eyes. Activate Upstart, getting a Trap Stun. So very similar hands, honestly. Foolish sending a copy of Tidal, Soul Charge. Arm chains the Maxi. Here, Jay's Back summons Whitestone, Blue Eyes, And the title, Arm gets a copy of Ignition this time. So instead of Sanctum, you got Ignition. Okay, a little bit of diversity now from the last game. Synchro Summoning title and the Whitestone for a copy of Stardust. So Arm gets a Scythe. Okay, really weird how deja vu this game kind of seems to an extent. Moving forward, they set the Fire Hand again and set Trap Stun. Over to Arm, who gets a copy of Hunder. Activates Seahorse for Cobra. We've seen this before. Summon Wat Cobra. They say it's good. Attack directly to get the Giraffe. Yep. Set the Call the Haunted. And they're keeping the Ignition this time. They're not setting it or activating it. Okay, a little bit different. Here, drawing a Torrential for turn. Oh, they have to discard for hand limit, so they're getting rid of the Scythe, which is also really crazy because the Call the Haunted can just bring back the Scythe. Crazy stuff. Here they flip the Fire Hand. Oh, but okay. Banishing the Whitestone and Blue Eyes for a copy of title. Switch everything to attack. Attack over the Wat Cobra. Attack in with title. Attack in with Stardust. And Blue Eyes. So Arm is just barely alive, and it's because of that upstart. If not, like, he could have obviously gone like Call the Haunted and bring something back, but it wouldn't have really done all too much here. I mean, it would have kept him alive, I'm sure there. But even then, yeah, okay. Setting Torrential and Tribute Summoning Blue Eyes. Was there no normal summon that turn? This was set the last turn. The Whitestone was sent the previous turn. Yep, okay. So just normal summoning Blue Eyes. Probably trying to go for a rank 8 here. Arm's thinking. Oh, they're going to go Call the Haunted. And that's met with Trap Stun. So they can overlay both into a copy of Felgrand. Here, Arm gets a copy of Duality. Goes normal summon Hunder. They say it's good. So now they can chain the Kagadokage here to special summon itself. Then they use Hunder to summon Giraffe. And here they think, and they go and use the Felgrand on itself. Oh, that's so rough. Because they're using it so this can't get, like, you know, because it becomes unaffected, but allowing this to go through means whatever exceeds they end up going for is just going to kind of put in all the work here. So it almost would have been better, like, most of the time your board's getting cleared regardless, especially knowing you have something like Torrential or something. It almost might have been good to use this on the Giraffe so you can minimally try to interact with your opponent. Like, even if they go and make something like a 101 or something like that to take your thing, you could always still Torrential and still, you know, this is unaffected. You might lose your Stardust or something, but it just feels better than just making this unaffected and losing out. I mean, I guess it kind of leads to the same type of thing. Or not really, no, because the Torrential would be able to activate and then clear, you know, Arm's board here. So a little bit of an interesting situation to be in. Main phase 2 going for 101 to take the Stardust. Setting the Moral Attack and Ignition. Passing it over. Jaceback gets a copy of Water Dragon, Mythic Water Dragon. That's kind of good. Using title, banishing Blue Eyes and Redox. That way they can get the Mythic Tree Dragon, right? Summon Tree Dragon. Here, Ignition is activated, popping the Moral Attack, setting another Moral Attack, and then activate to summon. Will that be met with the Felgrand? They think. And, yep, they do negate the Moral Attack here. And then they can special the Water Dragon using Tree Dragon to copy the levels here, and then going for another copy of Felgrand. Battle phase, attack over Kagadokage, attack over Moral Attack. Using the new summoned Felgrand to negate the 101 and attack over that so it can't protect itself. Here, Arm gets a copy of Beagle Tech. Activates Duality, finding a Sanctum. That's pretty good, but not enough to beat through, you know, double Felgrand. The one was out of material, but Arm will get to start this one out. Opening hands, we see Solemn Warning, Wat Cobra, Wat Giraffe, Max C, and Seahorse. So overall, a pretty solid enough hand. Not that much back row, but a lot of setup for what we would assume would be the next turn. Jay's back sees Dragon Shrine, Torrential, MST, Flamebelt Guard, and Blue Eyes. So not quite the strongest hand from Jay's back. Arm gets another Watt Giraffe, activates the Seahorse to get a Hunder and Hunder. Takes some time to think. He goes set Giraffe, set Warning. Pass it over. Jay's back gets a copy of Fire Hand, so that's at least something. They go Dragon Shrine, send Blue Eyes and Blaster. Normal summon Fire Hand, attack over the Giraffe, set the Torrential and MST. Pass it over to Arm, who gets a copy of DD Crow. Yeah, okay. Summon Hunder, they say it's good. Use Hunder effect, summon Cobra. That gets met with Torrential. Pass it over. Jay's back gets an Upstart, using Upstart for the Mythic Water Dragon. Blaster, banishing Fire Hand and Blue Eyes. That gets met with Crow. Setting Flamebelt Guard. Passing it over. Arm draws DD Crow. Summon Hunder, use the effect for Giraffe. Attacking with Giraffe. Giraffe effect. Or is he... This is... I guess it's... If this card inflicts your opponent cannot... Oh, so I guess it's not an activated effect or something. But anyways, regardless, he's attacking directly. Maybe it's just applied here and then attacking in with the Hunder. But unfortunately, that is a Flamebelt Guard. Main phase 2, he overlays for Constellar Omega. Passing it over, Jay gets a copy of Title. Takes some time to think here. He uses Title to send. Oh, by getting rid of a water, he's using the send effect. Sending a Redox, passing it over. Arm gets a copy of Scythe. Goes battle phase, attacking over the guard. Setting the Scythe, which gets met with the MST. And it is still Arm's turn, so that won't trigger. Here, Jay's back gets a copy of Blue Eyes. Very unfortunate to brick on that. How many? Is he on 3 Blue Eyes as well? Yep, he's on 3 Blue Eyes. Going for Redox, it looked like, I think. But that Title, but that gets met with Crow. He banished the Redox, right. And then adds a Mythic Tree Dragon. So, let me just see something here. Okay, yeah, so it's not really looking good for Jay here, unfortunately. Who passes, Arm gets a copy of Call the Haunted, attacks in with Omega. And main phase 2, set Call the Haunted, pass. Here, Jay's back gets a copy of Trade-In. That could actually be very good. Drawing MST and Whitestone, so maybe not as good. Does he have any rulers left? He's out of rulers and grave. That's very bad, unfortunately. Setting Whitestone and MST. Arm draws a copy of Ignition. That's pretty good. Activates Ignition, hitting the MST. MST's chained to hit the Call the Haunted. Still setting the Moral Attack, attacking with Omega over the Whitestone. No effect. Jay's back gets a Soul Charge. Okay, that might be interesting. What was the other back row here? Oh, but it's Warning, so maybe not. Thinking on targets here. All 3. Arm's thinking. Chains Max C. Okay, so he's letting him go through, so he's probably just going to Warning whatever he tries to go into, whether that's a, Synchro or Xyz. Arm gets a copy of Beagle Tech. Here, it looks like they're tribute something for Blue Eyes again. And just passing, not overlaying, so okay, cool. Arm not wanting to give them extra draws too. Arm gets a Duality. Goes Duality, finding, was that Duality, Ignition, and Watt Cobra? Okay. And switches the Omega to defense, sets 2, passes. Here, Jay's back gets a copy of Wing Blast. Okay, so Jay's kind of still in it so far, honestly. Maybe they're having a bit more back and forth. Switching Blue Eyes to attack, attacking over, or trying to attack over Omega, but Ignition is activated, popping Beagle Tech, setting Scythe. Beagle Tech is activated, using the effect, popping the Moral Attack and Scythe. So that will be able to use Moral Attack and Scythe's effect and pop a Blue Eyes, or whichever one didn't attack, I would assume. Oh, no, they are using the one that did attack, and one attacks over the Beagle Tech, and then set the Wing Blast. Arm draws a copy of Sanctum. Does he have more artifacts? There's 2 Scythe. I think he sides one of the Scythes, so it's not like unheard of. So maybe he sided out a Moral Attack or something there, or maybe he still just has them so he can still use that. Or I guess there's only 1 copy of Moral Attack here, so maybe this should still be live in theory. Here, Wing Blast is activated right away to put the Mortal Attack back on top of deck, setting the Sanctum, so now there definitely is anyways. Jay gets a copy of Firehand, summons, and attacks over the Scythe. Blue Eyes attacks over Omega, or tries to, but the Sanctum's activated to summon Mortal Attack. Mortal Attack can pop the Blue Eyes. Back over to Arm, who gets a copy of Bottomless, but that should just be game. Mortal Attack, or is it? Because this can just... Oh, but he can just warning it. Yeah, this should just be game. Yep, and the warning comes down, so Arm does take that one. Pretty cool showing from both decks. Very interesting. Usually, you know, obviously the Fire and Ice Hand are attributes for, was it Blaster and Title, so it's cool synergy. It also helps the, you know, break boards and stuff before actually committing to some of your plays with the rulers, which can easily put up a lot of damage. So really cool to see, honestly. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like on it, comment any questions or videos you want to see in the future. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to get notified anytime I put a new video out. Share this video with your friends, and don't forget to go down to the video description to find out how you can send in your hat format replays. But anyways, guys, I will see you in the next video.